All right, what's up, everybody?
Hello.
We are here with I Want to Be the Co-op, run by Igor, Marfrus, and with Redire next to me on commentary.
That's me.
Yep. So I'm going to count them down, and they will be going shortly.
Excellent, excellent. And I will be hopefully providing commentary.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Redire. I will be commentating this run, and let me introduce our runners again. So, the red player, in the red, we have IgorbSV. Surprisingly enough, the B in his nickname is actually silent. And playing as the blue kid, we have Marfrus, and he's hopping on air, which you will also see quite a bit. So yeah, we are playing I Want to Be the Co-op, which is just like your regular fan game, except there are two people playing at the same time and hopefully cooperating. So yeah, this is the first level of the game. It's more of an introduction, and I guess the theme of this level is pushing buttons, pretty much. As you can see, like the players have a little slightly different tasks ahead of them. One of the players pushing the buttons, and the other player is doing all the work. And then they hopefully switch roles from time to time so that nobody gets bored. But yeah, our players, well, Igor is the world record holder of I Want to Be the Co-op speedruns, and surprisingly enough, Marfrus is also a world record holder. So hopefully they will deliver. I think the category that we're running, I actually haven't checked, and I don't have the stream open, but I assume we are running the Unlock Mario % category. That's the most prestigious and more often, the most often played category. So that would mean that we will be collecting all the secrets and fighting all the secret bosses. And the final result of this one would be unlocking the special skin for the player, which is the Mario skin, hence the name. All right, we have seen the targets that the players had to shoot in order to continue. And here we have the boxes that we have to shoot. As you can see, the players have to slightly cooperate with each other. And as you can also see, as like the save system is the same for both of the players. So whenever one of them saves, another one can just reset and they don't have to complete the puzzle. This is quite a nasty box screen. It always takes a lot of time, and there is unfortunately no way of skipping it. Also, sometimes, as you can see, the player can in fact die and reset, and that doesn't break the puzzle. Unfortunately, from this point, they actually cannot die, so this is a tricky jump or a drop. Okay, they got it. If you miss a shot, you have to redo the entire thing, and that usually leads to a run being reset. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. One of the players pushes the box, another one stands on the box. There's a slight delay, so we don't see the player actually standing on the box. Here's a little bit of a skip. It's actually developer intended. It was intentionally put into the game. You can hop into that ledge and skip a very slow segment where one player has to push the boxes down and another one has to wait. It's a pretty nice skip for speedrunners. They are quite speedy. I mean, they have beaten our world record. The scams. All right, so the left path is actually the easy one, and the right path is for the top and elite players. And they both first try it. That's better than most of our runs. Okay, here we have some RNG involved. These balls are really nasty sometimes. Thankfully, only one player has to beat it. So that's a little bit of a relief, but these balls are really nasty. They can snipe you easily, especially closer to the right side on that drop. All right. Igor seems to have passed through. This time, both of the players have to survive. One of them has to press the button, and another one has to move forward and take the save. And this is the ultimate RNG fest. Only one player has to survive. Okay, Igor got free RNG, it seems. Right, and yes, this is in fact Unlock Mario. Good. As you can see, the players ignore this visually appealing portal and instead go and walk on empty space for a while. This is how you get secrets in Fangames. As soon as the secret... there it is. As soon as this player gets the secret, another one gets to the portal to save time. Alright. Here is Bob, I think his name is. It's like a puzzle game. I think I remember playing this game in my childhood. Oh yeah, the CD had a virus and it destroyed my HDD. I hate this game. Anyway, the first part of this boss is the avoidance bit. They cannot damage the boss. Here's Sonic, by the way. Bobble, that's the name. Thank you. Right, so yeah, this segment is quite nasty. Oh man, one player dying is not good, but thankfully, as long as a single player survives, it's okay and the boss can be completed. The game is nice like this. Of course, the damage output will be slower, because only one player can shoot the boss, and here comes the shooting part. So because only one player survived, it has to survive twice as much, so it has to survive almost 2 full cycles. You're not supposed to die to this too much, but it's really choky, especially some of the parts. As you can see, this part is relatively easy. You can just stay closer to the corner. The next one is tricky. Okay. He should be fine from this point. And yeah, he got it. He got it. He'll good. Yep. All right. Okay, as you can see, as soon as like the level complete label was shown, you can press R and you get instantly teleported to the secret boss instead of watching all the long intro. So yeah, this is Flandre. It's a boss inspired by a famous game. I Want to Kill the Camellia 3, I think. She's okay, but the first phase, which has already passed, and hopefully we won't see it again because it's really trollish. She's hopping up and down and she becomes unshootable quite a lot. Alright, the same principle applies for all the bosses. A single player surviving should be enough to beat a boss, but of course you want both of the players alive in order to do double damage. She should die, yes. Okay, that's pretty much the perfect fight. Okay, that's stage 1 down. As Marfrus has demonstrated, while the stage completed sign is up, you can actually fall into the pit and you will actually not die. This will become slightly relevant later on. Alright, no disconnect so far, that's good. This game is quite infamous for ruining good runs by just getting stuck on waiting for player. Hopefully this won't happen. It doesn't happen too often. Only on good runs, pretty much. Alright, so this level introduces the main gimmicks of the game. Well, it will introduce it slightly later. But now the gimmick is just jump and push blocks, as usual. So, right, so coming up is a sort of a hub. This level has 3 paths which you can complete in any order. There they are. And the funny thing is, the first 2 paths can be done simultaneously. It looks like the players are opting in for the safest strat. They both go on the same path at the same time. But I think they actually... let's see. Yep, okay, as you can see, they are actually parallelizing. So one of the players continues on that path to the right, and another one goes here. So, okay. you saw a little player. That was a little bit unfortunate, but unfortunate. The idea is they can do this in parallel, but the save system is shared between the players. And he's dead. Okay. So the idea was that one player could try to finish the teleporting area without saving, and that would kind of skip it because they would be able to do both of the areas simultaneously. But if you die, you pretty much have to do it the normal way, as you can see. It is a really tricky skip, and it's kind of a during my times nobody went for this. It's not that we didn't go for this skip, but it was kind of optional. It's a nice boost of like 1 minute. But if you don't get it, that's all right. But I mean, now the speedruns are quite optimal, and for like world record pace runs, you're pretty much required to get it. Right, so here is one of the gimmicks. This is a platform. So the idea is a player can put a platform, and you cannot put another platform until your previous one disappears. So you have to like switch between the players. The players have to switch who gets to put the platform, and that way they can traverse this segment. All right, you can see a lot of like corner skips and plane skips around here. They are legit. You can do them, but they are like a huge bait because both players generally have to do them. Okay, so the most observant of you might have noticed that they didn't actually follow the arrow, and in fact do not follow the more obvious path that you can take. That's obviously intentional. The idea is there's an invisible trigger right on top of them, and what that trigger does is it's quite complicated what it does actually. So there's a secret here, and it involves backtracking with this gimmick, and that trigger kind of removes that gimmick from you, so that you have to backtrack. But if you skip the trigger, you can keep this gimmick and get the secret with it. So that's why that convoluted path was taken. But for now, we will not get the secret. It will be got at the end of this save. But thanks to that trigger skip, they are now able to do that. All right. Yeah. Here, this is the bomb area. It like lets you through bombs, and they destroy platforms, and that's pretty much it. So here, one of the players has to do a tricky throw right here. Yep, that's tricky. And 7 times the charm. Nope. Oh man, that's actually really unfortunate. Oh, okay, he got it. He didn't see it. Like on our screen, he didn't get it, but sometimes it desyncs slightly. So I swear he's not cheating. That was legit. So here's another skip. Like the players put 2 bombs on the same spot and pushed both of them with the crate, and that allowed them to push the button when they're not supposed to. So they skipped a whole puzzle thing, which was really choky, and we as speedrunners are really glad that you can skip it. Alright, this is pretty straightforward. Just destroy only the platforms that are relevant. Here's another use for the bombs. You can use them to throw the platforms in the air so that the other player can hop into them. This game is full of creative things like that. All in the spirit of cooperation. Here you need to destroy the targets with your bombs. It's like a little time with no death threat, so it's a nice break. Well, unless you're speedrunning, so I guess it doesn't apply here. Here's a little avoidance. It's quite unfortunate, but both of the players actually have to survive this. The good news is the avoidance is purely pattern, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay, that always scared me. Like one of the players looks like he's doing a very tricky dodge. It most likely is not very tricky. It looks perfectly fine on their screen, but to us it might look scary. Okay, here's the secret, and as you can see, as soon as they save and reset, they get that platform gimmick I was talking about. The reason why they get it is exactly because they skipped that trigger. It's quite a complicated thing. Alright, so that's pretty much a free secret. And yeah, they still have to do the teleporter area. Yep, that's what they say. I assume Marfrus is like the teleport expert. That's why Igor doesn't even try to do it. So Marfrus is capable of doing that teleport area on his own. Theoretically, they would be able to do it faster if both of the players. No, not necessarily. Like if he first tries all the teleport saves, there is no time save, but they will save time because Igor is right next to the portal. That's the idea. Unfortunately, that means we don't get to see all the teleporter gimmicks. It's okay, they appear later on as well. Fun fact, on Marfrus' side, his player is also red. As a matter of fact, when you play this game, your player is red. So it's all relative. Okay, there we go. He got the Triforce. I think that's the Triforce, and we can get to the boss. This boss is really slow, which is quite unfortunate. quite you don't get to speed it up. As a matter of fact, if you speed it up too much, it gets slower. It looks really silly. So yeah, the players will just take their time and try not to die because, well, as you can see, the goal of this thing is to collect the crates on the bottom, and this damages the boss. Yep, that's inspired by Worms. That's like a retro game by now. I don't know. It was popular like late 90s, I think. So yeah, all the attacks are taken from that game. All right. Hey, this part looks scary, but it's actually pattern. You just stand in that spot, and it's always safe. Yeah, there have been a lot of sequels to this game, but I never got into them. 2D Worms, best Worms. Oh man, that was close on our screen, but I think it wasn't that close. Blue player always makes you nervous. Okay. That's another choky part. You don't... The only way to die on this part is to get mesmerized by what's happening and just spaghetti all over it. There's no way to die to it, right? I mean, as long as you're a professional speedrunner, you should be fine, right? Okay. So far they're doing quite well, and that's the final part. And it's actually the easier one, so we should be good, right? Alright. And yeah, every boss in this game has like the final burst that might catch you off guard. And again, we reset fight as soon as the blade appears, so that we get to the boss straight away. Here comes another girl, not a Toho girl this time. This is a very barrage-heavy boss. There's barely anything to learn. So theoretically, you can get here blind and just first try it if you're really good. That also means that sometimes the RNG on this boss is really unforgiving, so you usually don't die, but if one player dies, that's not too surprising. Oh, well, that's interesting. They have decided to restart. I guess it makes sense because the later part of this boss is really hard if only one player is surviving. I don't think you would restart on an actual run, but for safety, I guess it's better to do it this way. Yeah, for some reason all the secret bosses are anime girls. I don't know what's up with that. Alright, this is the attack that is quite nasty when you're alone, because as you can see, the missiles target, like, they switch targets between players, and if you're the only player alone, it should just covers you in them. All right. This is where the choke part begins. You are not supposed to die to this. It still happens if you get really unlucky. They seem to be pretty confident in this. I believe these players currently have the Masters world record in this as well. There are 3 difficulties in this game, and Masters is the final one. It's really unfair, especially like this boss, for example, is really, really nasty on Masters, and this should look really free for them. All is known in comparison. All right, so that's stage 3 now. The gimmick of this stage is really, really weird spike hitboxes. And you finally get to see the teleporting gimmick coming up. All right, you might notice something weird is happening. That's because there's a skip, so it's another complicated one. So they fall through the wall into another area, which is not even featured in this run. It's the extra area. The good part about the area is that it gives you the teleporting gimmick, which you're not supposed to have. And if you have it, well, you can skip a lot of saves. and they have taken this save, which they are not supposed to do, which might lead to really bad things, because that teleporting gimmick allows you to skip things, but it doesn't get saved. So you have to do this entire area in one go. And, well, I think they made it. All right, they made it. Okay. Phew. Yeah, the gimmick that we've just seen is the teleport. It's a little confusing, but the idea is that you press Z and you can blink a short distance away from you. And yeah, they are using another skip that's coming right up, because there is a trigger that like doesn't let you that like removes the teleporting gimmick from you, because you are supposed to reacquire it on this screen. But if you teleport from a certain spot, you can actually keep the teleport, and that way they skip the next screen because they kept the teleport. This is a troll area. They're gonna probably traverse it faster than you can know what's going on, but it has a lot of traps, and this area is quite an exception because both of the players again have to survive. If one of the players resets, both of the players reset, which is slightly annoying sometimes. But not here, actually. Again, this game is slightly inconsistent in that regard. Some screens are like common reset, some screens are individual reset. Yeah, Sonic is featured like 3 separate times in this game for some reason. Alright. Here again, both of them have to survive. And the game really tries to kill them, but they should be aware of all the traps, so... This thing is really, really, really easy, which makes it extra spicy when people die to it. Also, the Miku doesn't kill you. I don't think they'll show it to you. Or will they? Yep, okay, Marfrus showed it to you. Okay, just a final set of traps. And we should be good now. Alright, we got it out of the system. We get back to regular gameplay. As you can see, this platform's like form a line you have to press. They obviously know the route, so it's slightly confusing. But they just activate all the platforms in a correct sequence, which makes it lightning fast. Okay, here comes the push the button to move the platform gimmick. The next 2 screens, like this screen and the next one, are a huge trust exercise. Also, they make you wait a lot. Alright, this run is going pretty well so far. I think the death on the first boss was the single... Well, they didn't do the teleporting gimmick, which is a bummer. But overall, this run is going really well. Will they do the 16 pixel? Not this one, the next one. I think they will, yep. This is really scary, but it's not that hard. Alright. As you can see, red player is doing all the work. And the blue one gets to be lazy for a while. Alright. Back to our regular spike jumping. This segment was really, really, really weird until one of the the hitboxes got fixed or changed in one of the versions, and it became much more manageable. Oh man, this gimmick is so confusing. How do you even explain this? Like, you press the buttons and the lightning disappears, but only for a short period of time. Alright. Doesn't matter, it's done. You can see the secret item in the bottom tempting you, but you don't get to pick it just yet. Oh, and there is... Okay. There was a little bit of lag on my part. And we seem to be back to normal. Okay, yeah, here we go back to the platform gimmick, this time with time pressure. This save is really mean for the first playthrough. But it becomes not a problem. It's okay, it's fine. They know what they're doing. And here we get the teleporter gimmick and we can backtrack to get the secret. Fascinating. Of course, after they get the secret, they immediately restart and get back to the safe. Alright, here comes some targeted block killing. And yeah, you have to let one of the blocks leave on the second row from the bottom. That's why they had to reset. Okay, this time it's successful. The bombs are sometimes really... Oh, the teleporter guy died. Oh, that's okay. They don't have to redo the entire thing. All right. Yeah, the bombs behave. The bombs sometimes behave really weirdly. They sometimes destroy blocks they are not supposed to, really. Okay, there's another skip. You can teleport through the wall and then jump up. And then you keep the teleport, and then you skip all this spiral thing. Alright, actually we are already at the third boss. Another Sonic. This time the back one. This boss is also known for being featured in Defeat the Robots. Somewhat famous adventure game by PD Player. But this game did it first. Oh, they are doomed, alright. Actually, comparatively speaking, this boss is easy, I would say. It has two phases, and... oh, spoilers, wow. Anyway, it has two phases, and it's pretty long, but the attacks themselves are really forgiving. So we're not quite done just yet. It's time for him to power up. Okay, when both of the players survive to this point, it should be fine. Alright. The way he targets the players is always the same, so they know when to jump. Here's a little bit of barrage happening, and this attack makes you move left and jump, and that's it. And finally get the chance to damage him. You cannot quite kill him in one go, because there is a final phase with different set of attacks. Okay, they got the easy one, so it should be fine now. Another attack is when he does the Bashi and just flies around you, and it's really confusing, and you have to do the platforms. Thankfully, we don't get to see it. Oh yeah, that's the final burst of the boss. All right, here comes the time for another really confusing skip. So I have no idea how it works, but if one of the player spams reset and mute music at the same time during this boss, they actually get teleported to Sonic. And this is what we are seeing right now. As you can see, the blue player is actually shooting at nothing and standing in the air. What actually happens is that he's killing Sonic, and since the bosses share the HP bar, we get to see Shimakaze die as well. So that's pretty much how it works. And yeah, because of the way the boss works, when you kill Sonic, and like if you were to kill Shimakaze, she's a nasty boss fight with like 5 different phases and they all go forever. But if you kill Sonic, which is, as you can see, fast, the entire fight just completes. It's pretty nice. Alright, I swear this is the last confusing gimmick in the game. Everything else is pretty much straightforward. You just go forward, dodge the spikes. Phew. Oh yeah, there's a plane there. You can die to it if you really want to, and the other player gets to actually finish the save. It's a matter of preference, really. Yeah, the glitches in this game are actually quite vast and really, sometimes really surprising. It mainly happens because the game is multiplayer, so it has a custom engine, and a lot of things are like rough around the edges because of that. Well, that's my theory anyway. What do I know? Right, so this is the final level, and here we get to collect all the blue coins, and here's another place where the players will separate. So there are 2 paths, and one of the players, the blue one, goes on top and collects the coins there, and the red one collects the coins on the bottom. And this whole area is, what they are doing is like a huge circle, and they are moving towards each other from different sides. So the idea is that when they meet up, on the other side, there's a save which they ignore because they have collected all the coins, and then they just reset and teleport back, and are capable of going forward because the door opens. Normally, you would be doing this segment together, of course, and just saving on the other side, and then doing the other side from the other side from the other side. Good. Right. If everything goes well, we get to see. Yep, there he is. That's Marfrus coming from the other side, and as they collect it, they only have one coin here left, and the wall disappears, and they move forward. Do not underestimate this save. You might never die to it, but it's really, really tricky sometimes. Alright, so this is kind of like a medley game now, because the levels are inspired by other Fangames? Maybe? It's really hard to say, because this is obviously inspired by Castlevania, but this is also inspired by the original I Wanna Be the Guy. Oh man, this game is confusing. Okay, that last save was really buggy sometimes, but it seemed to work out this time. Okay, there's a inconspicuous arrow in the bottom right. We will never see whatever lies there. I'm sorry. Okay, here's another exciting crate pushing. Again, the players optimize the thing by doing two parts simultaneously. Oh wait, isn't there another skip that is really confusing? Oh, did I lie? Well, there's a skip, but I don't remember. Wait, what? Anyway, let's just see what happens, shall we? So yeah, they're doing that platform sequence thing. So that's just there it is. Like one of them gets the teleporter, and another one teleports back to another sequence and opens up the way for the player to teleport into it. And that way you carry the teleporter into here, which you're not supposed to do. And this way you can teleport through the wall and go over to the right and get to the door. Oh yeah, right, man. What is this game? Yeah, okay, so they skipped like half the level. It's a good skip. Okay, last one. I swear, everything else is straightforward. Here's the actual I Wanna Kill the Camellia 3 level, by the way. You get to ride on some crates? Cards? I think it's a card, right? No, that's not a crate. Sorry. The players invited me to commentate because they are not very confident speaking English. So they wanted me to do it instead, and, well, that was their first mistake. Anyway, yeah, this segment is quite mean, I guess, in spirit of the original game, and both of the players have to survive in order to proceed, and they're like, here especially, this save is probably the hardest platforming in the game. Both of the players take a different route, and they all are quite difficult in different ways. And if any one of them dies, you get to start over. I guess in spirit of that, the top segment actually looks like Secret 5, which is the hardest platforming in Kill the Camellia 3. Okay. Our guys are professionals, so they didn't even notice it. Wowie. Okay. The trickiest part about this save is triggering all the cards so that they go in the best way. After you actually learn to do that, the save is a cakewalk. Well, you still both have to survive, and, I mean, the spikes still kill you, so that's a little bit of a problem. Well, not for our team. Alright, they got it. Alright, this one looks a little scary, but it's 100% pattern. They still both have to survive, mind you, so this is no pushover. Both of them have to learn what to do, and there's a little bit of a lag. Hopefully it's gonna be fine. Alright, they got it. And, okay, here comes the actual hard part. This is pure barrage this time. The bullets are random, and they're curving slightly. Did I mention that both players have to survive? Because they do. Oh, well, yep. Well, just like the original... Oh no, that's so unfortunate. This segment can really troll you. I'm sorry, I'm mesmerized by it. Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. I think the estimate is quite generous for this one. Oh, that's a little tricky. Okay. Oh no, okay. Okay, again, it looked really scary for the blue player. And they do have the same, like, the RNG for both of the players is the same. But it gets distinct slightly, so we don't see the actual position of the bullets. Alright, K3 is done, PogChamp. There's another segment that looks easy on the surface, but it's actually quite tricky. Here comes Kill the Guy. Also, it's Mario, I guess. Okay, it's like this segment is much more puzzle heavy, so we get to be confused, I guess, because it's really hard to explain all the puzzles while the speedrunners are doing them. There will not be any skips, I think. Most of the segments you just do normally. Here, like this gimmick is one of the players shoots the box and it becomes and it takes the color of another player, and then another player can then jump on the box. So they're kind of shooting the path for each other, as you can see. All right, yeah. That's all. This segment also features the famous barrels from Kill the Guy. They push you up, and then you bonk, and then you get your double jump back. It's quite a kind gimmick. And the bullets kill you. I mean, you know, the usual. Alright, this is like a simultaneous thing they both have to do at the same time. And I don't know what went wrong, because I've never really understood that thing. I just kind of let my fingers learn it, and you kind of just do it. It looks really complicated when you look at it this way. Okay. Okay. I think they got it, right? Okay, that was something. Oh wait, they skipped one of the boxes. How did they do that? Anyway, yeah, this is fairly straightforward. It's just a combination of all the gimmicks from the previous screens. And this is the final screen. Oh man, this is also very confusing. This isn't even the skip. This is just normal gameplay. Okay, they did something. They're done. They're really good. Okay. Yeah, final boss of the game. This boss is hard, and it's very long. So let's see what happens. Yeah, the boss starts innocently enough. Okay. We're fine, we're in it. Yeah, this is from a guy from Paper Mario, I think. All of this is pretty much pattern, so it's not too difficult. Okay, here comes the real deal. You get to have the boss medley. From the previous 3 screens, we get a few mini-bosses, which we have to defeat without checkpoints, of course. This is a fan game after all. The bats are random, and they really like to troll you sometimes. The dogs are kinder. Okay, this part is actually patterned, so it should be fine. There are a few tricky... Oh, he's dead. Never mind. This boss takes about 5 minutes. First try. Here comes the K3 part. This time the fireball actually wraps around the screen, which got me more times than I'd like to admit. And the boomerang actually acts like a boomerang, believe it or not. Okay. Thankfully, everything else is much easier than in K3. So no worries. They got this, hopefully. Alright. Yeah, here they get to stand under the tree. It's a safe spot. Well, not for this part. This is all pattern, so don't get scared. They got this. Right? Alright. Both of the players being alive at this point is a really good sign. Here comes. Yep. From this point, it's slightly easier. The attacks are more pattern heavy. Not this one. This one can really kill you. This is pretty much the last one, though. Everything else should be fine. Okay. They get to climb on the spikes. Yeah, all of the fights are inspired by the bosses from the original games. So we get the second phase of the third phase of the boss fight here. Even mini-bosses have phases. This boss is really long. Okay, this is just pattern. It looks really scary, but you just know the safe spot and you should be fine. Here you get to shoot the shurikens for each other. I think you don't have to shoot them for each other. You can kill your own as well. Okay. This is all pattern, so, well, pattern or targeted attacks, so the trickiest part is not falling from the platforms. Oh no! Okay, it should be still fine. It's obviously not worth it to reset at this point, so one player will try to finish this. There's one final phase left. It's much harder when one player is alive, but it's still, like, pretty much doable. Alright, this is the blue player, so some of the dodges will look much closer than they really are, hopefully. Okay, he gets a little bit of damage into, and here he uses the safe spot in the bottom left corner. You're supposed to jump on those platforms on top, but it's much easier to just stand here. Okay, here comes the part, like, you have to kill him in a certain time before the wall from the top comes up, comes down even. Okay, he's doing it very confidently. No problem. Alright. One last thing to do. And okay. He touched a few balls, but it seems to be fine on his end, so yep. GG. Good job. Okay. There's one final thing left to do, but that's just going and taking that Mario, which you all worked so hard for. As you can see, all the bosses are down, the extra is open, but we're not gonna go there today. Extra is... I mean, it's fine. It's extra. Alright, yep, time. They got it. I wonder what was... Oh, yeah, hello.
Yeah, that was a great run, actually. Really fast.
41:22, that's actually really good, yeah. That's a really good run.
I started the timer a bit late, but like it was definitely a 41, yeah.
That's good. Yeah, congratulations to the players. That was like a pretty good run. No major failures.
Yep.
Yep, GG.
Yep, and thank you, Redire, for the commentary as well.
You're welcome.
Now we are setting up the Blind Neo race, because you all like that Blind Adventure race, so here's one more for you guys. And we'll get that set up and ready to go, so stay tuned.